Welcome to HayStack Mujer TV. Rosa Salvaje, Rosaura, Figueroa, Mendoza, your host. And guess what? We have somebody here that is amazing. Mother, artist, wife, and all-around badass. And you're going to get more of her story. Mujer Muralista.
Gracias.
It's on her chain, too.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
This is so fun. I love it.
Yay. Welcome to
Thank
my
you.
room.
I love your studio.
In South Hayward.
In the HayStack studio.
HayStack Studio.
Represent.
Pretty soon we're gonna have the Oakland studio up and running. So
Oh my gosh.
moving forward,
I'm excited for you.
making it happen.
Yeah.
Yay.
All love.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, girl.
Let's dig in.
Let's dig in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get right to it.
Okay.
Feel free.
I'm so eager. I'm like, let's talk about it. Whatever, what you want.
Okay,
It's
okay,
all
girl.
here.
So you were recently at Google.
Yes.
Yeah. So what was that like? That experience of being able to
Amazing.
present your work there.
Amazing. I had to pinch myself.
Mm-hmm.
The Do You See Me movement's 3 years old now, and this opportunity came because I just asked. I asked somebody who worked there if, is there any opportunity that I could maybe show some of my work at Google? Because I really wanted to create more of what's the word? Platform for what we're doing.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
I'm trying to take it, it's technically international, but I'm really trying to push for
Worldwide,
a worldwide
girl.
audience.
Hell
And
yeah.
highlighting folks who need it, those who feel too often invisible. So that's why I do this work. It's true art activism worldwide.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
that's
increasing.
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For you, why was it important to start the Do You See Me movement?
Well, as a woman of color, queer woman of color, and an ally to our melanated POCs, women of color, Black women, I just saw a need to support and highlight, just really provide a safe space and a platform for us as a community to reclaim our own narrative. So for nobody to speak for us, but
for sure.
create that space so we can speak for ourselves and turn that into art. So it started simply like folks holding signs in their languages asking, do you see me? And then that was their opportunity to share whatever they wanted. And then from that, those images became murals.
For sure.
Or coloring booklet, or prints, or art. So multimedia.
So for folks that don't know, the Do You See Me movement is, again, a space that Mujer Muralista has created in order to bring out more, women of color, especially me ves, Do You See Me, Mujer Muralista. So feel free to follow her. I'm going to be linking up all your pages, your Instagram pages and whatnot.
Cool.
Pero pues, it's important for women to know this because I feel like, I remember when I met you, it was such an empowering space to be around you, right? Like we need that as women, right? To be able to empower each other and to keep pushing forward. Because sometimes we don't really have that from, like, where do we go to receive that, right? And so that space that you're creating is so important.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it's not, yes, it's for women of color, but it's also for non-binary folks, non-binary identifying, but a people of color space. So I guess the umbrella term is marginalized or disenfranchised.
When you say non-binary, what does that mean?
Meaning folks who preferred gender pronoun would be they, them. So people who, are gender fluid or gender queer or do not want to be referred to as he, she, he, her, none of that. Just they, them.
Yeah,
I'm
for
me. So it's a beautiful place on the spectrum.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's not. Yeah. I just want to be as open as possible while also being highlighting certain folks.
Yeah.
So that's the dance
Yeah.
in what I'm doing too. So trying to be inclusive, although it's for those who really need it right now, and right now that's LGBT, non-binary, POC, women of color folks.
For sure, dude. Yeah.
No, that's a lot, but yeah.
And you recently, what's motherhood been like?
Motherhood in general is dope AF. It's wonderful. I've been calling it in most of my life. I knew I always felt a strong pull in my heart. That's where I'm going. That's just going to be part of my role and integrating that, and it's here now. So integrating mamahood into being an artist and a wife, a partner, a friend, an activist, an organizer too.
Yeah, for sure.
A traveler, a businesswoman, all these things, all these hats. So in a way, it's kind of comfort. It's a comfort zone for me. I've always been a nurturer and a space keeper. Now it's just, it's literally 24/7 and relentless.
Girl.
But I don't say that as a complaint. I say that as just like, that's what it is. I mean,
It's
all the
nonstop.
time. Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's freaking
That's
great.
amazing.
I love it.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's made me a stronger artist because I have little to no time now. So I'm really organized.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got 10 minutes. Let me bust out as much as I can. Get some work in.
Yeah, girl.
Yeah, working it out.
That's amazing.
Oh,
and that's how it is with, I mean, I think about my own mother and how she just sacrifices everything, like, for us to be okay and, you know, to make sure that my dad's okay, and even at the cost of her own health and her own well-being, which is not something that I recommend to anybody, but I think that's just how it is with when it comes to motherhood. My mom has told me, like, it's not until you have your own kids that you really understand, like, that love that you feel, because it's so different from what you feel for your partner. You know, it's like that love for your children is like, you can't compare it to anything. You're willing to do whatever it takes for them to keep moving forward, right, and for them to be successful. So I mean, I don't understand because I'm not a mother, so like that's why it's really amazing watching you and your child and like being around other mothers that are just, they're willing to sacrifice, you know, whatever it takes, you know, to keep moving forward. So it's amazing.
Yeah, it's truly unconditional love.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I knew what that was, but it's, until you experience it.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
So the Do You See Me movement, where do you see it going from here?
Well, I'm working on the back end. Grant writing, that kind of thing, getting the funds, allocating the funds to travel and facilitate workshops. So probably first stop will be Peru and then Chile, because that's my Andean culture connection.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, I got some connections in Chile, and I'm trying to get to Peru. We'll see how it goes. Yeah. So that's the next step.
What part of Peru are you trying to go to?
Huancayo.
Huancayo? Where that?
It's more rural.
Rural? Okay.
Yes.
Cool, dude.
Yeah.
Why do you want to go there?
Because there is a dope organization called Sapi Chai, which is reclaiming indigenous language and agriculture in Huancayo. So like the Quechua language, reclaiming that, and art. They have opportunities for artists to come and support and
dude, that's
do
so
some mural
amazing.
work there.
Hell yeah.
So
that's
I'm working on it. I really want to do it. It's a
Yeah.
wish and a prayer, and that's where I'm focusing, as well as
You're gonna make it happen.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
When I have an idea, I usually don't stop until I achieve
Yeah,
it.
for sure. That's great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
That's great. I'm thinking back to when I first met you. Actually, it was Viento Sol that actually connected us mediums. So Viento Sol, shout out to you, girl. So we went to your house, and I think we did like was it a new moon or like something of a moon ceremony?
Like a woman's circle.
A woman's circle type of thing. So it was really, really cool to be in that space and to have you just so open. You're just so open to like having folks in your home, and you know, welcoming people, and just like having that space, you know, to just be chill, you know, and like get to know you. And I think ever since then, it's like you've been really consistent in terms of checking in. How are you doing? How's this going? How's, you know, like, I think that's really important, that mentorship, that friendship, that love, that support, you know, to keep people going in whatever project that they're working on. So, you know, shout out to you, like everything that you put into creating that space for people, you know, to feel safe, to be who they are. And actually, we were talking about this beforehand, but you were actually one of the folks that I came out to, right? When I was, you know, I told you that I was bisexual, I was queer. And so like, it felt really nice to be able to have that space to do that. Whereas I'm sure that a lot of people may not, right? And so it may be difficult for them. And so you talk about being queer, and so feel free to get into like, how much does that play into the Do You See Me movement, into your work as Mujer Muralista? How much of that is your identity? Like, what how does that play into the work that you do now?
Oh, wow. That was such a beautiful build-up. Thank you. I'm so happy I can be there for you, and that's why I do what I do. That's why I do. I love you. I do. Girl, it's all love. It's community, but I think that's part of my art form. It's not just literal art, but like how we support each other in our community, that we are that safe space for one another as queer people or people of color or people, human beings, yeah, indigenous people, not whatever. And man, queer identity, that's a that's a big one, and ever evolving, like just like gender fluidity and sexuality. I mean, sexual fluidity. I mean, it's ever evolving, and we're just now, as a society, kind of finding the words to describe what's always existed. Like they, them. Like some say, oh, I hear, like, oh, that's new. But I'm like, oh, that ain't new. That's been since day one. We just now are finding words.
Even indigenous people, I've heard of them using twin spirits, right? Two spirits to describe bisexual people, and that's always been the case. And you know, there's been people in indigenous culture that has cross-dressed. You know, if like a man wanted to wear women's clothes, it's like that's who they were, and it's like people didn't think too much of it. Like, where does that come from? That feeling of needing to control. Where do you think that comes from? Like that feeling to control
I don't think we have enough
people.
Time. We don't have enough time to talk about colonialism and all of its ramifications.
1492, Columbus sailed the ocean.
It was before Columbus. If you're talking about Latin America, that was way before Columbus. So, as an indigenous person from Chile, well, that's my ancestry. My dad's Mapuche from Chile, and my mom's Jewish from Chicago. So I'm a Native American Jew who speaks Spanish, who used to identify as Latina. So that's a whole, we'll put a pin in that. But being a South American indigenous person, that feels like finding my way back to my culture, my indigenous culture, I mean, has been challenging. And I was really fortunate to have a mentor who's now a Hunka relative. Hunka's like adopted in Lakota tradition and culture. So through that tribe of a North American nation.
Is this your brother that you've told me about? Okay, cool.
I was able to connect with my culture because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy kind of pulling down those cages around my father's, just kind of there was a lot of resistance, a lot of institutionalized racism we were talking about. And so just being cool to just start to open that door and be like, yeah, I am. We're actually indigenous. Don't tell anybody. We're not just Chileans. So it's just starting to open that conversation. But I always felt there was something there, like I was missing. I don't have the words. That's,
And you were telling me beforehand that there's not a lot of, even when you do talk to your dad, like there's not a lot that he knows even. And and you don't know the language,
but I've had to learn it. So through like a ceremony of more North American tribes, like Sweat Lodge, you know, like of the Lakota, I was able to connect with my people too. And so that's the beauty of indigenous nations that have been strong, resilient, and holding on to their ways and their ceremony, because like I was saying earlier, I was trying to get to like South America indigenous nations, that stuff's, a lot of those doors are closed. That's what my brothers talked about too. So because we were impacted first through colonialism, before Columbus, you know.
When you say before Columbus, what do you mean by that?
Meaning, historically, we were colonized way before Columbus. South America was.
Oh, by
Europe,
or
by Europe, by Spain. So, like the Incan Empire, for example, are cousins of the North. That's they were colonized first. So, colonized. Nice way to say, basically, murdered and raped and told to forget their language, taught a new language, and given them Bible and all kinds of. But I digress. Yeah, horrifying.
Oh my god.
But that's why I'm so down to support people when they're discovering who they are or being that safe space in yeah, when it comes to identity, when it comes to their culture, their race, sexuality, because that can be such a vulnerable place and a nebulous place, figuring out what that is for that person. And I know how hard that can be, being mixed from Oakland and also queer. I mean, many levels to and layers to identity. It's important for me as a person, period, to be a safe space for somebody else to explore those things. And I think being an artist and how I express myself through an art form, like the Do See Me movement, is just an extension of that. So it's a safe space for our community to express, you know, what's going on for them in their world.
How was it like growing up in Oakland?
Amazing, just like Hayward. Oakland's great. Like Wakanda, like forever. Like amazing.
Wakanda forever.
Yeah, I always felt that the seeds of like resistance and like revolution in Oakland, because that's the birthplace of the Black Panthers, Black Power movement. So that energy's there.
How do you feel about maybe perhaps the changes that are taking place in Oakland?
In terms of like gentrification and stuff? Well, as with any civilization, it's nothing new. I know I have a lot of like pride and kind of ownership inside about, you know, being proud from Oakland, but it's colonialism too. It's all cities. It's all Ohlone land we're occupying. So if we really want to get deep, like, so what? Yeah. Hayward, Oakland, San Francisco.
Right.
That's not, it's just being occupied at the moment.
Right.
But yeah.
And, so
it's
an interesting way to look at it, for sure.
None of this is ours. Even though like I said, I have this sense of like ownership. And I do get upset when I see my neighborhood that I grew up in changing and prices going up and there's a lot of people houseless on the streets. So we got problems, but it's always there for me. Like, oh yeah, and this is Ohlone land. Oh, and this is indigenous land. Oh, and this is colonialism all over again. That's all gentrification is, neocolonialism. And I'm a part of that too.
How do we save ourselves, loud? Mujer Muralista.
I don't know.
Fucking do it. Oh,
I'm
drowning now.
I'm just an artist educator.
Swear to God, I'm drowning.
I don't think so.
It's crazy.
How are you drowning?
Because it's like every fucking, we were talking about, you know, microaggressions that happen to us and, you know, that, you know, you shared things that have happened to you. But it just feels like it's just a lot. Like sometimes it's just overwhelming. It's a lot to take in, right? All the things that people deal with, you know, because it's not just for example, the work that I do is not just the need for childcare. It's also the fact that there's homelessness and that there's domestic violence, that there's inner personal violence between mother and child, and you know, and it's just it's a lot, you know. So it sometimes feels like, how are we? I mean, I guess maybe day by day, but it's like, how do we move in the direction of actually loving ourselves and taking care of our families and living in a community where we're actually moving forward rather than feeling like we're just surviving every day, because that's what it feels like sometimes, right? And actually I could say that like we're pretty privileged, like, to have the things that we have, and so maybe it's just that, right? It's just understanding that we're blessed and continuing to move forward in the best way that we can while helping the people that perhaps need more. But I guess sometimes it just feels like I'm drowning. I don't know if I'm the only one or maybe other people feel that.
And that's real. For me, I mean, maybe that was a rhetorical question. I don't know, or Socratic.
It is. It is, because it's like, who has the answer?
No one has the answer, but when you're speaking, it just reminds me of just mindset. And just acknowledging, like, yes, I am privileged. I have white skin. I can pass for white. I'm in this country. I'm struggling, but I mean, I have a roof over my head. I can take care of my child. You know, I have support. I have love. And for me, I just try to focus on things that I can help, like my attitude. Like, instead of getting down about things, which I do. I mean, there are things that make me upset or enrage me, or I feel helpless, or I can feel like I'm drowning sometimes. But I just don't let nothing stop me.
Okay.
Not
so
even
what pulls
myself.
You out of that?
I just have a really strong will. I don't really know. It's so...
You a badass.
I just have a strong habit, a strong practice of not stopping for nothing. I mean, my father was exiled. He was imprisoned in his country of Chile during the coup for 5 years. And exiled, came here, met my mom. Here I am. So I guess there's an example right there in my family of resiliency and not giving up despite like horrific things happening to him and to people around him. Like people were killed and it was a lot of trauma and a lot to unpack for a firstborn child of this family, and navigating post-traumatic stress syndrome, not just for him but my mother and myself, and growing up in East Oakland and my own journey through poverty and being exposed and being around gang affiliation. I was part of that, and being a survivor of rape and being, I guess we keep going. There's the resiliency, like, excuse me for shit happens.
You curse all you want, girl.
That's it. But stuff happens, and then what are you gonna do?
What keeps you going? What is that thing? Maybe it might change, but you say you have a strong will, but it's like, is there some vision that you have?
Well, what did my father fight for? Why was he in prison? Why all this? Why? For what? For what is all this? Why are we here? Existential questions. I just keep going. I'm an artist. That's what I am. That's what I do. I create. So not only am I creating work, I'm creating an experience. I'm co-creating my life. What do I want my life to be? My life has value. My life is sacred as long as I treat it like that.
For sure.
How many folks walking around like their life isn't sacred?
Yeah, for sure. I hear you.
So it's an everyday practice. I'm not perfect. I just do my best. I'm just trying to take the Do You See Me movement international, y'all. Simply.
Please.
I'm trying to,
You can do this.
have all these beautiful
murals
all over the place.
Okay, so
Peru. That's all I want to do. That's all.
Fucking give that shit to her, world.
No, I gotta get it myself.
I mean, I feel like you keep the way that you're putting your energy out there is like, why not? Why can't you get that? Like, you can.
No,
get
I can.
That
I
you
am.
want,
It's a process.
It's exciting.
It takes time.
I mean, I don't have fucking patience, though. It's just like, I want it right now.
You'll learn.
I want my money and I want it now.
You're gonna learn. You'll learn real good. I was not patient in my 20s.
All right, so
I'm not
Peru,
in my 20s anymore.
Chile. Where else do you want to do murals?
Well, everywhere. I gotta start somewhere. I mean, I'm in East Oakland right now. At La Casita on Foothill. Really good food, y'all. You should go.
Check it out. I've had food from there.
And there's some really beautiful murals there.
Yeah. Bye. Mujer Muralista.
But that's the first mural for the Do You See Me movement. Yeah.
That was your very first one?
For the Do You See Me movement. Yeah. I'm just, navigating the politics, and putting up a mural is not always easy. Getting the permission to do so.
Yeah,
but I find a way. I always find a way. Yeah.
I hear you. I know we've talked about doing murals in Hayward and even the one mural my favorite mural in Hayward by Javier Rocabado, he talked about, like, dude, it was hard, like, to get my shit on here, because it's navigating those politics of being able to create a mural that's actually for the community. In South Hayward, there's, like, we have a ton of, like, Latino Mexican people and people of color, and so, like, having a mural that's resonating with them, but for it not to be political in some way. So it's like he had to find a way for it to be political, but beautiful political, so that people don't understand that it is political, even though it is, right?
Sure.
So it's amazing.
Read between the lines.
Yeah. The way it was cool, because he said poetic. He said something about, he definitely used the word poetic, but it's like this is fucking about immigration, but you're not gonna know that it's about immigration even until you, like, see the flow of it. And it's like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah.
Super sleek.
Sometimes that's the dance.
Good. Yeah.
Especially when you work for the public or art in public spaces. A legal way.
Yeah.
That's where it can get. Yeah. But y'all don't worry about that. We're gonna get there.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
I'll do that hard stuff.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
leave
excited
the
to
fun
see
for everyone
you
else.
keep growing and keep doing murals all over the world. And I'm excited to be your camera woman when you go all over the world.
Please come
and
through.
just fucking document that shit. Free flight, all expenses paid. We're gonna get to that point.
Oh yeah, one thing at a time.
Yeah,
I'm not balling.
I'm not
yet.
patient.
I'm not balling yet. Soon.
It's coming.
It's coming.
People, we are gonna take a break real quick, and then we're gonna come back with more Mujer Muralista.
Okay.
Hey.
Break
Peace.
time.
Welcome back, people. We have Mujer Muralista in the building. So we were talking about different things, you know, the Do You See Me movement and where you see yourself going with the Do You See Me movement, motherhood, and growing up in Oakland, gentrification, being indigenous.
Yeah.
So we've gotten into a lot of things. Pero pues, I want to free up the floor for you to just share whatever you wish to share openly about whatever. I feel like, I mean, because it's like you asked me before, it's like, oh, feel free to ask me any questions. It's like, I mean, I could talk to you about anything. So it's like, we can go in any direction. So it really just depends on what you wish to touch upon, right? I feel like, I mean, just in general, you're like the sister I didn't have, like the older sister I didn't have. So it just is nice to like be able to talk to you and get your opinion on things, because I really respect you and I think highly of you. So it's nice to like, what are you thinking? What's on your head?
Gosh, what a pleasure. Damn.
It's what I do.
Okay. Well, shoot. Well, I'm here for you.
Oh, thanks.
And, dang. Yeah, I'm a little speechless. Thank you. Just happy.
Yeah.
Just happy to be here. You ask great questions, like where does the resiliency come from? Where does that sense of strong sense of self come from? Where does that not giving up, perseverance come from? I don't know, but I do know that
maybe it's just in your blood.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know where it comes from, but I just know that I'm not gonna stop. And I feel like I see so many young people embarking or wanting to embark into entrepreneurship and start their own business or create a brand, and on Instagram just being amazing, and it's inspirational. And I guess I want to support more folks to do that. If that's what you want to do, go for it. If you're not happy at your 9 to 5, find what you're passionate about, and be careful if we become friends, because I'm going to support you so hard.
Oh, believe me. Dude, she fucking checks in via text, calling. I think it's amazing, and I think that it's really important, because, I mean, I've talked to you about how, like, sometimes I withdraw, and I'm just like, I don't want to see anybody or talk to anybody, and, like, you fall into this hole, but it's, like, it's really, really nice to have folks like you that are just, like, reaching out. Hey, how's it going? What are you doing? How, you know, how's this or that going? So you were speaking about wanting to support people that are doing entrepreneurship, right? And so I think that that's super key, because it's like, dude, financial freedom, imagine that. Financial independence,
and we can
stability.
all have it.
Yes, we can.
And I mean, I'm not an expert, but I just feel like the not giving up, like the not stopping, really does work.
For you, what does financial independence look like?
For me, it's about quality of life. It's not just about money. Because, I mean, now I have a child, and yes, I need to provide for my child, and my husband, my partner, helps me. We both work to support each other and our child and kids to come, because we want more babies in this world. That's our form of revolution, raising woke babies. But yes, if you can't feed the baby, don't have the baby.
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
like MJ said. Yeah. But there's so many forms of activism and revolution. This doesn't look just one way. And you know that famous quote, the revolution will not be televised. And it won't. You gotta find stealth ways to create the change you want to see in the world. And
Gandhi.
Well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, totally.
Cool.
But it's all part of it. And struggling through figuring that out is part of it too. And if you need to take some time to yourself and be in a cave, it's okay.
We're human. It's all right.
Make space for, you know, that mental health. You know, that's
for
key.
sure.
And ain't nothing wrong with taking a break.
Yeah.
Because we're always hustling in this society.
Yeah.
And taking a break is also part of the revolution.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
So, I mean, I was pressuring myself when I had my child because I think it was 3 months in. And I was frustrated at myself because I wasn't painting anything or drawing anything. And I just had to shut that all down. Like, I just had a baby.
Yeah, girl.
And why am I comparing myself to other people? Why? This is me. This is my life. This is what I want to create. I'll get back to that. And I am. And then Google came into my life before my daughter hit a year. So it's happening. There's something happening. I'm moving in this direction. And it seemed like I slowed my pace. And maybe I did because, hey, having a baby isn't just like baking a cake. You know, like it takes a lot of work.
24/7.
It's 24/7. It's relentless. So not getting a lot of sleep. And where am I going to find the time to draw? But I found a way.
Where do you get your inspiration from when you do murals and paint and draw? And
I just have a lot of fire. And I'm really driven to highlight ancestry, highlight disenfranchised folks. I'm really passionate about this project and increasing visibility, how much representation matters. Like we were talking earlier about, you know, just navigating queerness and identity. Like it's so important to have somebody in your life or a mentor. Just at least one person makes all the difference. Or to see someone to you know, follow, to look up to. It's so important. And that can exist in public art. So that's more my push. You know, I'm so inspired by all these muralists, so talented in the Bay and in the world. You know, pushing that, just pushing, constantly pushing to expose that. Yeah.
When did you start drawing?
I think I was little. Yeah, I always was drawing. But muraling, I started at 10, I think. Might have been earlier. I stayed home. I faked sick so I could stay home and paint my whole room.
Dude.
And I did.
Hey. And your parents let you?
Well, my mom was not mad, but, you know, part of her was like tickled because she's like, all right, my daughter, the artist, trying to do her thing. But I'm pretty sure she wasn't 100% thrilled of me painting those nice white walls. But I mean,
girl, white is so boring. I mean, color in your life. Fuck that. What the hell?
No, but I get it now. I mean,
yeah,
that was my mom's house. Like,
yeah.
But yes, started painting young. So 10, 11, 12, self-taught. And then I kind of fell off, got into gang, dumb stuff. And then luckily I had a great mentor, an art teacher who took me under her wing and saw that I had talent and just kind of saved me, basically. Got me away from negative things of the streets. Like there's positive things I've learned, like street smarts and code switching, which I love. I'm thankful to the streets for. And I'm glad I have those skills, but there's other things that, like survival stuff, I could do without. Like, yeah. I don't want to digress too hard, but thankfully I had a really supportive mentor and she pointed me in the direction of murals.
Awesome.
And then I think I must have been 17. And then I just never looked back. I started making murals every year, just cranking them out, working with the community. I met Juana Alicia, one of the incredible artists of the mission. She painted that women's building mural. As well as Edith Boone and a bunch of other incredible like muralists. So it was dope meeting her. That's like another mentor to me in my heart. Like I worked on the ¿cómo se llama? Vivir sin fronteras, the Living Without Borders mural in Berkeley. That was one of the first big murals I helped with, and that really influenced me, and I just kept going. Yeah.
Oh, girl, you're gonna keep going.
I'm gonna keep going.
Worldwide.
Yeah.
Global.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh,
I'm excited for you.
Yeah. So
Woo!
can I share something?
Yeah.
So if any of y'all on there in the universe there want to participate in the Do You See Me movement, just send me a pic in the DM, really, with a sign in your language that says, me ves, or do you see me?
Or
And
in your language.
In your language, please. We accept.
Do you see me movement?
Tag us or direct message me. Please. And then that image is consent to create a large mural or some multimedia art out of that.
Yeah.
And let's do this thing.
For sure.
Woo!
Let's make it happen.
So thank you. And thank you to the community and everybody who supported me this far. Mujer Muralista and the Do You See Me movement. Thank you, HayStack Mujer TV. I mean, it's really, this is why I do this work, because I love community so much. Yeah. I want to help us out.
And I feel like there's no reason why we all cannot reach our full potential. It's just a matter of building that community, right? Of having people that really truly believe in us. And because I've been in that, it's beautiful to be in that space where you share something that even you think is crazy, like, oh, I want to do this. And you have people like you that are like, yeah, let's make it. Fucking do it, bitch. It's like, all right. And it's like, I've shared with you that, like, I don't like being called bitch. I don't like calling people bitch. But sometimes I love the word bitch. It's like, let's do it. That's
another episode, eh?
It probably is, dude. Like,
let's unpack bitch.
Let us unpack it. Because,
I
think that word just gets to the heart of something that's like, fucking do it.
I tell myself that lovingly. Like, bitch, get your ass moving.
Or, talk to myself like that
bitch,
too.
take a break.
Yeah.
And it helps me. But I've learned you can't always call your friends that, like some friends don't like that. Just check in. Like, what's your preferred gender pronoun? Or how do you feel about the word bitch? Does that bother you? Or open questions.
For sure
To check in.
It's different for everybody. For sure. I mean, because it's like like I said, like, I don't like when people call me a bitch, but then I can't call people a bitch without other people calling me a bitch. But then I love the word bitch sometimes. Like,
it's
you
one of those
words.
Bitch. I know. It just depends.
It just depends.
We'll put a pin in that one. Too.
Let's have a conversation about that. And it all comes to like the vernacular, right? Like the words that we use to express ourselves. That's part of our culture as well. That's part of our personality. That's part of who we are as people. And so sometimes, I mean, I've had this conversation with people where, sometimes around certain folks, I won't use slang because I don't want to be considered dumb.
Code switching.
So it's just, it's this thing that we do to like change ourselves and adapt ourselves to the situation. And we were talking about code switching and being able to, like, when you're walking down the street, especially being a woman, you change yourself. You're gonna, be more aware. You're gonna be walking, looking aware.
Not all.
Not all, but like, I think you and me have it down in terms of we know.
Oh yeah.
In terms of walking down the street.
The don't F with me vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to, or else these fucking people out here, I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah.
I don't know where I was going with that, but I'm
it's
just
okay. I feel
sharing.
You. I get it.
The frustration of, like,
it can be.
God. Frustration. Well. Yeah. But the Do You See Me movement.
But nothing stops me. Nothing stops me for very long. Yeah.
Girl, we're gonna keep pushing. I'm excited to see where we go, and we're gonna keep growing. And again, so going back to like what I was saying about having that community around you, it's so important, to have people around you that really truly believe in you, that have their own goals, right?
Yes.
That are wanting to push you forward because they know that if they push you forward, they get pushed forward as well, right? So we're all kind of moving in this together, and so it's exciting to be a part of that, because I feel like I've longed for that for a long time, but I didn't know exactly like, well, where do I turn to or where do I go, and sometimes it could be a little bit frustrating in Hayward. A lot of people here are talented, but it doesn't feel, we just don't have that community of people, of like having that Hayward pride and I'm from Hayward and like this is Hayward culture and this is Hayward art. And so it's been a process, to take to like find those people that want to build that community. And so it's been a process, but it's really nice, being in the heart of the Bay, because it's like I'm able to go to San Jose, I can go to Oakland, I can go to San Francisco, and I know people out there that are doing amazing, beautiful things, and so it's amazing. And so you being in Oakland, it's like, it's nice to have that home, and be able to like go and talk to you about whatever it is I need to talk to you about and get that shit out. You know, because sometimes
we need it. Therapy, support,
yeah,
love,
for sure. And you were talking about using like that you're a lover in terms of like you love to give love, you know, to people and encourage them. And do you feel like that gives you energy?
Yeah, but I want to be specific. Like there's tough love too. So it's being sensitive to that.
Yeah,
like tailoring that love for people.
Yeah. Depending on the person.
Yeah, I mean, some things aren't going to register, like the B word. Or, just learning a person takes time. Yeah.
It does.
It takes time.
It's a process.
Yeah, and just how to communicate the best way possible, and and check in.
For sure. Yeah,
so that's all part of it too.
I think that's something that you have that that I really like is that, I mean, apart from like you just being an amazing person, I think that you're just very, you can be very direct when it comes to communication. And I think that that's really important, especially for girls. I mean, I didn't grow up knowing necessarily how to communicate and say what I wanted, you know, because I think a lot of the time it's been, okay, I'm going to put my head down and just take whatever is coming my way and not say anything about, oh, you know what, this makes me uncomfortable or this and that. And I'm sure that you've gone through your own process of maybe you weren't always direct or open with communication.
No.
But I think that that's something that's really strong to touch upon, like, for yourself, right? Do you feel like what advice do you have for any girls, women that are out there that, not just with communication, but just being the type of woman that is like, this is who I am. These are my boundaries. Like, don't fuck with me. Whatever
it takes
time.
You
want to communicate.
I think that takes time. And I'm mixed. So my native side, the Chilean side, I have felt culturally the women are not direct. This is my opinion, my observation. So I'm not trying to generalize, but I'm just saying for me, that's what I've noticed. And Jews, the women are freaking direct. So I have both examples in my life. And I'm American, so let's be real, being in this country comes with its privileges too. And
that's a good point.
So
I mean, I take that for granted.
But that's all influencing us through osmosis. Like what's the majority? What's the majority culture? And how does that influence our language? And how does that influence like how we think about ourselves? And all of that is related. But I got lost. Where are we going?
I guess I was just asking. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think the more general question that has been on my mind recently is like, how do I push myself forward? And this question is for you, but it's like, how does us as girls and women push ourselves forward in the world in such a way where we can be strong and direct and be who we are and feel safe, I guess, creating that space for us to just feel safe.
I know. I don't know how to answer it. I mean, that's one of those great rhetorical questions again. For me, though, I mean, we do the best we can every day. But I wasn't always this direct. I mean, I was raised on more of the Chilean side, more of a traditional, like, Latina culture but definitely influenced by Mexican culture growing up in California and in the Bay Area. That's the majority brown person in the house. So it's beautiful. But my identity has certainly influenced my communication and how I relate to myself. And I've had to dig deep with help. I didn't do none of this by myself. Like I had mentioned earlier, I had incredible mentors and support. So I've been through stuff. My family's been through stuff, but we got through it. I just don't give up. Keep going. Yeah.
Amazing.
I
cool. Thanks, girl.
Sure. My pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You got this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your words, your energy, and actually I wanted to ask you, I feel like sometimes, like, I'll ask questions that I don't, I guess maybe like deep questions or like, but I don't want these episodes to be held like, yeah, they could be deep and like, you know, they can be wherever we want it to go, but also knowing like wanting to be more silly. Silliness is important.
Oh, sure.
We need to get silly.
I'm down.
Seriously, dude, like sometimes I feel like I'm going crazy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking your lead.
So I was gonna ask you, what kind of music do you listen to?
Oh, I love soul.
So, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
Al Green.
Yeah.
Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Maze and Frankie Beverly.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
Oh no, girl. You need to erase that and then listen and then be like, oh yeah.
All right. Wait, say them again?
Maze and Frankie Beverly.
Maze and Frankie Beverly.
Yes. It's incredible.
Okay.
I love it.
Cool.
Just old school music. And I do love contemporary hip hop. But I could do without a lot of the misogyny.
Oh my god, girl.
That's all.
I love the hyphy movement, but that was not for me. Like,
no?
I mean, it's like, okay, you grow up with it when you're 14 and that's what you're listening to, but it's like you recognize at 27 that, oh shit, I fucking love that music, but it's
not good for me.
It's not welcoming to me as a girl and woman.
Oh, right.
The fuck was I saying?
But you know, it depends. Like,
I mean, I don't fucking care. Like, I still go dumb, but it's like,
but yeah,
you're like,
but what are we really saying?
Right. I remember this dude came to our school one time and he was saying like, he was like a self-defense teacher or whatever, and he was I don't know why I don't know why they chose him to talk to all the young girls. Like, it was just a weird thing because it's like, I think it would have been a lot more helpful to have like a woman telling us these things, but essentially something that he said that stuck with me was that he said, pay attention to the music that you're listening to. Like, it's not just like, listen to you're saying things like, sometimes I've heard things like, oh, I don't listen to the words, I just listen to the beat, and he was like making fun of that, but it's like, at that time it's like, oh, fuck you, like, it's like, that's what we listen to. What do you know? Like, you're an older man that's like, who even are you, right? But he had a point in the sense that like, dude, you go back to old school music, they're talking about dancing, they're talking about singing, they're talking about having fun and enjoying life, like Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Quality.
It's like, that's something that
there is
can
no
relate to.
Disrespect in those words.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think there's some truth to what that teacher was saying. I mean, certainly it's like the food you put in your body.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like the quality of food affects how you feel and your health, and the same thing for what we listen to.
Yeah.
All of that gets absorbed.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
Institutionalized racism. Like, it's so hard to unpack, and you feel like it was always there. But no, along the way it got absorbed somehow, and then somewhere we believed it, and now we're like, we think that's just who we are. But yeah, at any point you can change that.
Yeah, for sure. It goes back, I think, to the process of that you were talking about, of like, it just takes time. Like, to become the person that you're gonna be every day, but it also takes time to really analyze the things that you're like bringing in to your sphere of life, right? Whether it is music, it's food, it's the clothes you wear, whatever that is. Like, you're creating yourself every day. So I think that it's interesting that you say that.
Responsible with everything.
It's a lot of work, dude. It's a lot of maintenance to be a human being.
But it's good. I'm alive. I chose this life. I want to live. So let me be responsible with my life and my choices.
Yeah.
And my mistakes. Like, oh, I messed up. Okay. My bad. Moving forward.
Yeah.
Or I made a great decision today.
Yeah.
Yay. Keep moving forward.
Yeah. How do you feel like you celebrate yourself when you do something amazing?
I'm working on that. I'm very, very used to working really, really hard, like grinding really hard. And sometimes I forget to celebrate, to pause and be like, oh, wow, Google. That was great. That's
a big deal, dude.
But now I'm like, oh, next project.
Yeah. Oh, actually, talk about your next project on the 29th. Oh, not project, but performance. Or,
a gallery.
Showing.
Gallery. Yeah, at, I don't have the address, darn it. We're going to put it in the link.
Yes.
Come check it out in Sacramento. I'm going to show some new art with some other amazing artists, including Crystal Galindo and Miriam Mosqueda.
Viento Sol.
Viento Sol.
Shout out.
Excuse me.
Girl. Yeah, Miriam Mosqueda, both.
I don't know.
I don't know what she prefers.
That's why we need to ask.
Yeah.
We're going to check in.
The 29th, so it's going to be a gallery showing in Sacramento.
Yeah. But not just Sacramento artists, but the Bay Area. So it's about unity.
Yeah, for sure. Dude, little by little, building that community of people. Yeah. It's amazing. There's nothing we cannot do.
Nope.
We can do this! How exciting! We can create what we want.
Yeah.
Yay. Yeah. Oh, I definitely appreciate your presence, and you're walking about on this earth, and you're being amazing, and you're creating space for other people, and you're doing great things. And
thank you. You're
being a mother and an educator and a muralist, and you're pushing forward the Do You See Me movement, and I think that, I mean, there's a lot of things that I admire about you, but I think the biggest thing is, like, you just let people be who they are, you know. It's a really freeing space, you know, to just, like, oh, I can just, like, you know, let go and just be me.
Be yourself?
Be yourself. Be yourself.
What a concept.
I know, for real. Why is it so hard?
It's not with me.
It's true. Yeah. Hang out with her. If you want to find out who you are, hang out with her.
No.
She'll let you be you.
I'm just going to ask a lot of great Socratic questions, like you've been doing, and rhetorical.
Yeah. We need to be our own therapists, dude. Like, therapists these days, who are amazing, but they are very costly, so not everyone can afford therapists. But we need people in our lives that are going to be, you know, examining us, not like to judge us, but really just kind of like asking us questions and pushing us to explore ourselves, you know. And I think people should do that on their own, you know, if you have space and time to be able to write on your own. Whatever form of expression is the best for you, whether it's doing murals or visual art or whatever that is, you should explore yourself. But it really, really helps to have people that are there in front of you asking you questions, you know, what do you think about this? Where do you want to go with this? You know, and I feel like you've been doing that for me in terms of, you know, signing up for sole proprietorship for HayStack Mujer, right? I think that's a big thing, getting that money, like doing those taxes, getting you know, that money back and things like that. So it's important. It's all part of the entrepreneurial pursuit, right? Of like making that shit happen. So I think it takes a lot to like build a business, but I think slowly but surely, it's like when you have people around you that are supporting you, like you, because you already have that under your belt in terms of Do You See Me movement, it really helps to get that that take, you know, from people that have already been down that road. So it's been dope.
Oh, much love. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure.
And for you and anybody, if y'all got questions for me, I'm happy to help you. You can just direct message me on Instagram. I can post a response in stories, or you let me know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Got questions for me about sole proprietorship or being your own boss or being an artist of whatever you want. Like, I'm open.
Hit her up, dude. You won't regret it. She's amazing. Seriously.
Thank you.
Girl. Is the time I have a crush on him, if you didn't know. Kuko? This dude.
Okay. I was like, who's that?
But thank you so much for being here, girl. And thank you for being yourself, and for being silly and just weird and crazy in a great way.
Oh, sure. Anytime.
Freaking need that release. I think laughing is a huge medicine, so, you know, being able to just let go. And I feel like I don't do that enough, you know, like, and it's nice to be around people that just are doing that. Just, hey
girl, hey.
Hey girl, hey. Just be free.
That's so good. I really appreciate you talking to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you
we're gonna be linking you know, Instagram for HayStack Mujer, and it's all good. You know, y'all are gonna find out about Mujer Muralista, the Do You See Me movement, you know, her upcoming work on the 29th, the gallery showing that she's doing in Sacramento. And I recommend you follow her, you know, just to stay in touch with people. If you're out there and if you're an artist yourself, you know, and you're wanting to kind of find like, okay, well, where do I go so that I can get some inspiration or start building that community of people that are going to support me, I feel like we're right here, right? Like, we're already here. So I feel like feel free to reach out to us. ask questions, you know, getting together like in person. You know, I know that's hard because people have schedules and whatnot that they have to meet in terms of work and priorities and whatnot, but I think that's really important to just come together when we can, to have that space to be together, so and support each other. So
heck yeah.
Yeah, girl. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right, sister.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank you.
All right, peace, people. HayStack Mujer TV. Bye.
Bye.